Hello everyone. Today, we're going to talk about 3 shocking news from the world of Formula One that you need to know. Max Verstappen's pessimism ahead of the Australian GP, reality or strategy? As the 2025 Formula One season kicks off, Max Verstappen's statement about Red Bull's lack of competitiveness has sparked speculation. The 3-time world champion declared that McLaren is the only team truly ahead and even called them the title favorites. But is Red Bull really as weak as he suggests, or is this part of a psychological strategy to shift pressure onto their rivals? McLaren on top, Red Bull falling behind. After preseason testing in Bahrain, most observers agreed that McLaren looked strong. Their lap times were consistent, and their aerodynamic package seemed more balanced compared to Red Bull. Verstappen himself admitted that the RB21 is far from perfect, highlighting weaknesses in handling curbs and bumps, historical issues for the team. However, a critical question remains: is Red Bull truly struggling, or is Verstappen downplaying their potential? History shows that Red Bull often starts the season with some challenges, only to make rapid improvements within the first few races. If we analyze his words closely, Verstappen's comments might be a veiled criticism of his own team. Red Bull's technical director, Pierre Wacha, had already admitted that their winter testing results were below expectations. Verstappen reinforced this view, pointing out balance issues and understeer, something he has always disliked. This raises another concern: has Red Bull lost its direction in car development? With minor yet crucial regulation changes for 2025, McLaren, and possibly Mercedes, seem to have adapted more quickly than Red Bull. Psychological warfare, Verstappen's strategy. On the other hand, Verstappen is not a driver who gives up easily. Over the past few seasons, he has demonstrated remarkable mental resilience and the ability to turn situations around. His pessimistic remarks could be a deliberate strategy to lower expectations for Red Bull while shifting pressure onto McLaren. As often seen in F1, mind games between drivers and teams are just as crucial as on-track performance. If McLaren is truly ahead, they must prove it in race conditions, not just in preseason testing. Meanwhile, Red Bull and Verstappen might be quietly preparing a major counterattack. Ultimately, the Australian Grand Prix will be the first real test. Is Verstappen genuinely concerned, or is he setting the stage for a surprising turnaround this season? George Russell vs. Max Verstappen, rivalry or self-assertion? George Russell has once again made it clear that he will not shy away from a fierce battle with Max Verstappen. The Mercedes driver refuses to bow to the 4-time world champion's dominance and insists that he is in Formula One not to make friends, but to win. But is this truly about on-track rivalry, or is there a deeper narrative at play? Since their clash at the Qatar GP last season, Russell and Verstappen's relationship has never fully recovered. While both claim to be focused on the new season, Russell's comments to the BBC suggest that the tension remains. But an important question arises: does Russell genuinely see Verstappen as his main rival, or is this a way to build his image as a serious title contender? In a sport like F1, psychological battles can be just as crucial as on-track speed. By openly challenging Verstappen, Russell positions himself not as just another Mercedes driver, but as a true championship-caliber competitor. Is Russell in the right position? From a technical standpoint, another question emerges: can Mercedes provide Russell with a car competitive enough to truly challenge Verstappen? Over the past few seasons, Red Bull has maintained a significant performance advantage. If Mercedes continues to struggle, Russell may find himself fighting McLaren and Ferrari more often than Verstappen. If Mercedes faces another difficult season, Russell must be cautious that his words do not backfire. Bold statements about not fearing Verstappen only hold weight if he has the machinery to back them up. Otherwise, they risk being seen as empty rhetoric. Beyond Verstappen, there's another factor that could be of greater concern to Russell: Mercedes' internal dynamics. With Andrea Kimi Antonelli being groomed for the future, Russell must not only outperform Verstappen on track but also secure his place within the team. If Verstappen were ever to join Mercedes, as Toto Wolff has attempted in the past, Russell would need to prove beyond doubt that he is the team's leader. Talking about fearlessness is one thing, but true leadership will be determined by performance when it matters. Russell has the talent and mentality of a champion, but can he truly become a threat to Verstappen, or is he simply crafting a rivalry narrative bigger than reality? Ultimately, the 2025 season will be the true test, whether his words translate into action on track or become a burden if Mercedes fails to provide a competitive car. Honda is set to return to Formula One in 2026 as the exclusive power unit POOP supplier for Aston Martin. However, recent statements from Honda Racing Corporation (HRC) President Koji Watanabe suggest that the company is open to supplying additional teams in the future. Is this just diplomatic rhetoric, or is there a hidden strategy behind it? Focusing on Aston Martin, strategic decision or risk? For now, Honda is fully committed to Aston Martin as its sole partner. This is a bold move, especially considering the major regulatory overhaul coming in 2026. With entirely new chassis and PU regulations, optimizing development will be a significant challenge. However, limiting itself to just one team could be a risky approach. History has shown that PU suppliers working with multiple teams tend to develop faster due to greater access to data and technical feedback. Red Bull, for example, benefited greatly from also supplying AlphaTauri while using Honda engines. Ferrari and Mercedes have likewise maintained strong development momentum by supplying multiple customers. Is Honda playing it safe by focusing solely on Aston Martin, or are they missing an opportunity to accelerate their progress? Serving multiple teams comes with increased operational costs. However, the long-term benefits can be significant, particularly in accelerating technological iterations and improving competitiveness. Watanabe himself admitted that Honda is a racing-oriented company, and ideally, they would like to supply more than one team. On the other hand, there's a risk that Honda could lose control over its development focus. By working exclusively with Aston Martin, they can tailor their PU specifically to that team's design philosophy. But if they supply multiple teams, they will need to balance different aerodynamic and chassis requirements. If Aston Martin fails to meet expectations as a frontrunner, will Honda remain fully committed? Their history with various F1 teams suggests that they are willing to change direction quickly if results are unsatisfactory. Additionally, other teams on the grid will continue exploring their best options for 2026 and beyond. If Mercedes, Ferrari, or even Red Bull struggle with their current suppliers, Honda could become an attractive alternative. Therefore, while they insist on focusing solely on Aston Martin for now, their strategy may evolve in the coming years. Ultimately, Honda faces a crucial decision. Do they want to become a dominant force in F1 by supplying multiple teams, or will they stick to a controlled, exclusive approach? This choice will determine whether they are merely participants in F1's new era or key contenders in the battle for the championship.